US Marines, can our Mumbai Police really look like them? Can they be as fit as them? Joining us to debate this, we have Mickey Mehta, well-known wellness guru, and we also have Malishka, a well-known anchor here in Mumbai and RJ for 93.5 Red FM. First to you, Mickey. How is it really possible that the pot-bellied, slouchy, lazy constable can now transform himself into what you are expecting in a few years' time, like the US Marines? Is it really possible, or this is really too ambitious?
Well, we have a right to dream, and we have a right to have the highest objectives in mind. And of course, human body is like a soft clay. It can be molded very well. We need to work a little hard once they get a little aged and jaded, but nevertheless, it is possible. And if I were to be given a very free run with them, trust me, one day I will make Mumbai Police a force to reckon with.
Today you say at least 60% of the cops are fitter than what they were earlier?
Yes, certainly. 60 to 70% much better than earlier. And much contrary to the belief that they are very rusty, no, they are sharp.
Malishka,
yes.
Respond to that. Do you, when you go down on the roads, when you walk on the roads, do you feel, when you look at these constables, these cops, do you feel reassured that your safety is taken care of?
You know, I'd like to first of all congratulate Mickey for trying something out like this. Yes, it sounds very, very ambitious. And to answer your question, I've never thought that just by looking at a cop's paunch, I would or would not feel safe. There are many other factors that I think not just me, any other woman in Mumbai would say, like literacy levels or the way they treat us.
No, but I'm saying, my question is specific because
yeah.
our responses most often are visual. When you see them, you feel reassured with probably with if he's, you know, standing taut, he's trim and proper, you feel far more reassured that yes, you are protected. So do you feel that sense of protection when you look at our cops currently?
They just but then the answer to that is very, very obvious. You know, if you ask me, if you look at them and if you're judging a book by its cover, then of course not. Yeah, you definitely know that lots of them can be a lot fitter. But like you just said in your program, you know, we've got to take a lot of other things, we've got to keep a lot of other things in mind, like their working hours or their salaries, which I would think is the biggest thing. They can't exactly go around having salad with olive oil. I also know when I've spoken to cops very, very recently about their holidays, they're telling me they're working around the clock. They are 44,000 strong in a city of 17 million plus. They're,
right.
You know, there's overtime that's happening. When are they going to find time for fitness? So I think if Mickey Mehta can manage their fitness and wellness, that's kudos to him. It does sound really ambitious.
You know, Mickey, how will they find?
You know, Tejas, I have an appeal to make to the public. It's very easy to run down the cops and do a lot of cop bashing. But do we citizens really stand up and have we done anything for them? Okay, I've taken just a very small initiative of starting one gym at a police station. But can corporates come ahead and put up gyms in all police stations around India so that our cops can exercise well?
Sure, but what we all do believe and understand is that when the training of the US Marine is concerned, as far as that is concerned, it's really rigorous and one of the toughest in the world. How are you comparing this with what the Mumbai Police will now undergo? Is it as rigorous?
Well, we've started. We will certainly scale up, ramp it up by and by, and one day in this lifetime, I'm sure Mumbai Police will match up with the toughest cops in the world.
Hopefully, but what do they currently do? What's their program?
Okay, currently what they do is we do a lot of running on the beach, we'll do a lot of kickboxing in the water, they do crawling, they do bunny hops, duck walk, they do CrossFit, you know, push-ups, duns, pull-ups, and we really kill them. In that 1 hour, we literally poop them out. And trust me, these guys, with whatever meager nourishment they get, they do their best.
Yeah, Malishka, the other argument, as you are pointing out, their salaries, the way cops really live, how is it really possible for them to afford something like that? Therefore, people like Mickey, the government really pitching in and doing their best. But at the end of the day, do you think the Indian population per se, the Indian people per se, physical culture, sporting culture is completely absent? So how do you really expect now these cops to, you know, scale it up now?
You're right. It's also fitness, you know, comes into your pattern of living after you've satisfied all your basic needs. It's almost the pyramid, you know. So you, like I said earlier, if the cops need to struggle for their basic needs, like their money, for example, then holidays, when on earth are they going to find fitness? Even us people, general people, salaried individuals struggle to make time or struggle to get out of our way to go and do something where we will, fitness is not level 1. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a stretch. I would like to ask Mickey if he's actually gone and spoken to the cops and asked them whether they can do this.
You know, I beg to differ on this, because much before we started the program 10 months back, we spent 2.5 months doing research, right, with the drivers, the writers, the wireless operators, the constables, the PSIs, and the, you know, the IPS officers. And across the lines, what we found out was the top priority is fitness. Because fitness will probably determine the fundamental integrity, fitness will determine the morale, and fitness will determine the outcome.
Right, Malishka, last point on this segment really, how would you, the first thing you really want our police to change in themselves?
Like I just said, if I didn't judge my regular policeman by the size of his paunch, I would really like to see a change in attitude, because as women and considering what has happened in our city over the past few months, I would like them to see sensitized towards us, that when we go and complain, or the first judgment is not like, oh, shayad iski hi galti hogi, ya phir, you know, that kind of nazariya. I would like that to change, so that I feel like my cop is, or you know, the person who's protecting me actually wishes to do that, as opposed to getting caught in like red tapeism and oh my god, I have to write another FIR. However, having said that, I'm 100% with the police. I hope they can do this. I hope
Mickey,
for better living.
Mickey, better fitness in just 30 seconds. How will this really change policing?
You know, it improves their it integrates them at every level. It improves their integrity, improves their morale. They can think clear. You know, their intentions will be good, and a sense of responsibility. Last but not the least, it is my dream to make every cop in India as good as Mr. Himanshu Roy, so that it becomes a pride and honor of the police force, a lady's honor, and a culprit's worst nightmare.
We'll have to really wait and watch. Hopefully, Mickey will continue this effort, and as he's saying, corporates also will really pitch in, and real policing will hopefully change in a couple of years here in Mumbai.